Hello everyone, I am Omar from Radiocrafts. In the previous video of this series on how to get started with RIIM, we walked you through a step-by-step tutorial on how to run a RIIM network using the example ICI applications included in the SDK. In this video, we will show you how to modify the example ICI applications included in the SDK to create your own ICI application. And as a reminder, an ICI application is a code written in high-level C language which runs on the module to tailor its performance according to your specific needs.
We would also like to remind you that all APIs used in our EC applications are documented in the RIIM API reference HTML file, which can be found in the docs folder in the SDK. The EC application we will be working on in this example is the sensor board example. The objective of this tutorial is to observe from the border router board temperature and humidity sensor readings sent from the sensor board every second. To do this, we will need to reconfigure the sensor board to send temperature and humidity sensor readings to the border router board, as opposed to the accelerometer sensor data it sends by default. We will also need to reconfigure the sensor board to send data every second, as opposed to its default 10 seconds setting. So, how do we reconfigure a node in RIIM? By simply modifying its EC application code. But before we start making any modifications, let's first run the default sensor board EC example application and observe its default output on the border router via a terminal program. If you have forgotten how to do this, please refer back to the previous video on how to run a RIIM network using the example EC applications in the SDK. We will see that accelerometer data is printed out every 10 seconds. Secondly, let's briefly analyze the sensor board EC application code to understand the functionality of each part and to modify the parts needed to reach the objective of this tutorial. In this part, we define some of the parameters describing the functionality of the EC application, such as the timer for the sensor to pull data, the timer to print out the sensor readings, and the timer to send the readings via co-op to the border router board. By changing the co-op timer period value from 10,000 milliseconds to 1,000, the sensor board will now send sensor data to the border router every second. In this part, we define the variables which will be used in upcoming functions. Next, we define a function for each of the sensors on the sensor board. In the sendCoApp function, we define the payload message to be sent from the sensor board to the border router board. In the payload length line, we define how the message is formatted and what parameters to print. As we can see, by default, it prints out accelerometer data. If we check the read SHT function, we can find the correct names for the temperature, temperature fraction, and humidity parameters. Then, by changing the payload length line this way, we modify the co-op message being sent to the border router to display temperature and humidity sensor readings. Now, all you have to do is compile the ECI application, upload the generated flash images to the module on the boards. Then, using a terminal program such as PuTTY, you can observe the co-op messages being sent to the border router board. Compiling and uploading can be done automatically by double-clicking the compile and upload batch file. Another way to do this is manually, by using the make tool. First, to compile the ECI application, start a command terminal. Make sure your ECI application code is under My App SRC folder. Then enter this command. As you can see, this part is the name of the file in SRC. So you can change it to compile mesh router and border router ECI applications. Upon compiling, this will be the screen you see. And as it says at the bottom, your flash image is in the output folder. Now, to manually upload the flash image to the module on your sensor board, open another command window, note the COM port number for your target board, and type in this command. Reset the board when you see the message cannot connect to bootloader, and there you go. Your application is now uploaded to the module on your sensor board. You can repeat these two steps to manually compile and upload ECI applications for the module on your development board and border router board as well. Finally, using PuTTY, you can view the temperature and humidity messages being sent from the sensor board to the border router board every second.
Thank you for watching our video snippet series on how to get started with RIIM. In this video, we showed you how to create your own ECI application by modifying one of the example ECI applications included in the SDK. We also showed you how to automatically and manually compile and upload ECI applications to the boards. In the next video, we will show you how to configure and install a RIIM network. So stay tuned. Thank you for choosing RIIM and Radiocrafts, and hope you have a nice day. See you soon.